Om Shanti, everybody. Welcome to the next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. I'm so glad that we've started this up again, that we can just create this intimate, loving community and grow together like we did during the pandemic. What a time that was. And what fascinates me is that many philosophers or scriptures or mystical seers have said things repeat. Even they say history repeats itself. How does that sit with you? That there will be another pandemic, there will be another locking down of the world, there will be another uncertainty about what's going to happen. I mean, I remembered when we first locked the museums down, we thought 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then it became a month, and then 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, to almost 3 years. We had to close down our meditation museums. And now we closed the one in Virginia, and we've kept the one in Silver Spring opened. And with classes happening, especially on Saturdays now, we're still trying to get our rhythm. It's very interesting, isn't it? The cycle that we're in, the cycle of time. Back in the day when I used to take care of my business and I would be going to work at 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night, I'd be coming home at 6 o'clock in the morning, the nightclubs. And you can just imagine that was a routine for me. It was a cycle that I was in. I didn't even have to think. I just knew that this is what I'm supposed to do. Then when I came into my spiritual awakening, my cycle changed. I was going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock, and I was waking up at 4 o'clock. And then that cycle took me over. And then I didn't really have to think about what I was doing. It's just a cycle that took me over. The cycle of time is in every one of us. There's a saying that the moment you're born, it determines the moment you leave your body. I won't say die because the soul never dies, but the moment I was born, there's a moment that I will leave my body and stop playing my role as Jenna. It's a cycle that I'm in. It happens all the time. When there's a cycle, things move. When it's linear, you think there's a beginning and there's an end. There's no such thing. Nothing really ends. It pauses, but then it transforms into something else. I want you to start to consider your life as cyclical. Just sit with that for a little bit. My life is a cyclical process. There's things that just keep happening. And in a way, even though they're happening in the same way, something is moving. Like it's cyclical. It's moving. It's like a wheel. When you have a wheel, it moves things easier than when there isn't a wheel. I have this drawer in the kitchen, and it had 4 wheels on it. And 3 wheels broke, and the drawer went like that. It's like the cycles were breaking apart, and then we eventually took off all the wheels, and now it's just stable. It just stays. Nothing goes under, nothing goes around it. But when it was with the wheels, things could go under, we could move it, things were easier with wheels on. Cycle. It's like a wheel of time. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, but there's a new beginning. I don't know if it's because I'm maturing on my path, but I don't think anything ends anymore. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, but there's a new beginning. So it never really ended. It just changed its form, its way, and then there was a new beginning. In a cycle, you can never determine, or in a wheel, you can never determine where's the beginning here and where's the end. It's infinite. It's infinite. And to my advantage, the way I use that concept is I want my peace to be infinite. because it's cyclical. So throughout the day, observe how much you serve the peace that's in you, because it's infinite. I want financial, emotional, relationship abundance to be infinite for me. That means throughout the day, how much do you serve that awareness that you have that? It is your blessing. It's infinite. And the almighty power of love, I want love to be infinite within my soul, within my spirit. And so how much do I serve love throughout the day? Love can be served in the way you prepare a meal on the table in a plate, and you give it to someone. We have a sister, whenever she prepares the food on the plate and she brings it to me, it's like she's doing it with so much respect and so much honor. She's going to do that infinity. She'll have that quality because she keeps serving it. You understand what I'm saying now? The cycle of time is an infinite awareness. It's an infinite reality. And the way you choose to do things over and over and over again, it's like you're planting it for infinity. And yes, there are beginnings, there are middles, there are ends, but there are always going to be new beginnings. When you serve your purity, and I tell you, my understanding of purity is not just a physical thing. It is the cleanliness of your heart. If you've got a clean heart, which means you wish well for yourself and others, I want to make that an infinite part of my cycle, that I practice having good wishes and pure feelings for people and for myself. It's my cycle of time. If you decide to choose and declare that your cycle of your existence has a lot more good than obstacles or challenges, your cycle of time is good. In one weird, unlimited sense, time actually doesn't exist. You're having moments that are carving deep memories in your soul. And that's why we remember things, because we're in this cycle that we never can get out. And so if I can remember my immediate past, or if I can still be holding on to experiences from my past lives, and they're still impacting my current emotions or feelings, then what if I choose to think thoughts such as, I, the soul at this moment in time, I'm going to bring the energy of God's love into me, so I make that experience an infinite experience. That wherever I, the soul, travel, I will carry that experience in me. The infinite love of God's presence travels with me. And whatever I have to go through, I go through it, but that love won't let me go. It's in me. My cycle of love will not leave me. I will carry love wherever I go. And it will help me to overcome all my challenges. I will be challenged. It will happen. Challenges help to push me forward. That's a part of my cycle. But it doesn't compare to the love and the power that I'm made of. In a movie, it's kind of cyclical. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, and majority of the time in movies at the end, the hero wins. Maybe you're in that cycle now, where you're preparing for the hero within you to rise up and to come forth. You're tired of being a victim. You're tired of being disillusioned, betrayed, defamed, pushed down. And maybe with all of that you've been through in your cycle, something in you says, but it's my time to become my own hero. And the hero has recorded in them powerful, powerful wisdom, an enormous amount of inner peace, a kind of unbreakable love that keeps serving the soul, and then it serves others. Food for thought. You're stuck in a cycle. Your only liberation of the cycle is to be positive, pure-hearted, to bring the energy of God's love into your cycle if you want to be free of it. But the energy of life is all cyclical. Nature is cyclical. History repeats itself. It's cyclical. We are born as babies, dependent on our parents. We grow old. We become senior citizens and start to become dependent on our kids or family or friends. We were children, and then we became adults, then we became kids again. We came alone through the womb of a mother. We go back without a womb. We just disappear. Once the soul leaves the body, that's it. Your part is done. But you still continue. You're in a cycle of nature. You never die. What do you want to keep carrying with you? Love, peace, truth, joy, or anger, lust, greed, attachment? What are you going to record in your cycle? It's entirely up to you. Let's take a moment now and enjoy a beautiful meditation just for us. And every cycle, we will listen to this meditation and be transported. Take a deep breath in. Om Shanti. As I sit here in quiet reflection, I'm reminded how my thoughts create my reality. I've accepted that I am what I am because of what I think. So what if for this moment I choose to let go of my various attachments to physical forms that have limited my potential and my capacity? What if I chose to be free from limitations of thinking? So just for a little while, I invite you to take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And imagine for a moment, what if I no longer had an attachment to my name? How would that feel? What if I let go of the awareness of the gender? What if I let go of the roles that I play, the titles that I own? What if I decided to release thinking of myself as a religion, a language, a nationality? What if I choose just let go of the name, gender, role, title, religion, language, nationality, and let go of the awareness of the body. How would I feel? Who would think of me in this awareness? And who would I think of? I would think of God. And God's remembrance would fall on me. And I, the living soul, would be completely free. Let me just sit in this moment for a little longer. And just be free. Now gently bring back the awareness of your gender, language, nationality, title, role, name, religion, whatever. Bring it back to your awareness and see if you can bring the experience of freedom and peace as you go out into the world and play your various parts. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Lovely, lovely. What a great way to meet on a regular basis and just being alive with each other and connecting at a deep, sincere level. So, awakened intelligence. Santosh, here's our time. What does awakened intelligence say about life being cyclical? The idea that life is cyclical is a concept found in various philosophical, religious, and spiritual beliefs around the world. Hinduism and Buddhism, these traditions embrace the concept of reincarnation, where life is seen as a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth until enlightenment or liberation is achieved. This cycle, known as samsara, is influenced by your karma, the law of moral causation. In indigenous traditions and native traditions, many cultures view life as cyclical, reflecting in the natural world through seasons, lunar cycles, and the lifespans of living beings. It emphasizes on the regeneration and renewal, the interconnectedness of all life forms. Philosophical and psychological theories, some Western philosophical and psychological theories also suggest cyclical patterns in human behavior and societal development. For instance, generational theories like those proposed by Strauss and Howe suggest that societal attitudes and behaviors tend to repeat in cycles every few decades. Very interesting. In agriculture, life is often seen as the cyclical, tied to the seasons, planting, growing, harvesting, and lying fallow. So there is something there. We are in a cyclical process, and so what do you choose? What do you want to record is the question. What do you want to record in your cycle? Love, peace, truth, joy, or anger, lust, greed, attachment? It's your choice. No matter what, we're in this cycle. It's an energy. It's the natural law of the nature. It's not man-made. It exists. We're part of nature. All right, let's see what's in our thought about getting along with each other. The more you harmonize your nature, the closer you will become to feeling complete. In the physical form, you saw in the form of Brahma Baba, the founder of the Brahma Kumaris. He practiced remaining beyond and a detached observer. Those were the elevated qualifications of his stage of perfection. So now, practice making your own sanskaras, that's your deep personality, the same as Brahma Baba. It is through this that you will become victorious over the hearts of everyone, and you will definitely win the heart of even yourself. You will experience yourself being a world emperor. Wow, that's a big one. Wouldn't you say that? All right, so those online, please send in your comments and shares and thoughts and ideas about this. And yes, I think we're in a cycle. Make it good, no? Create a habit. Small story before we close off, and we have a little video to show you about the cycle of time too. My mom, Sister Gita, she's very creative and spontaneous. And I used to tell her, be a little bit more regimented, because when you get older, it's going to be wild. She didn't listen to me. And it turned out that way, because she had created a cycle of energy that was too spontaneous. But when you're pretty regimented, in a good way, you're regimented based on your strengths and your qualities, you'll be safe to feel what your cycle is. People in the military, people talk about boot camp training and the discipline that is in military. But a disciplined person, their mind is free. They don't have to think so much. Give it some thought. You are in a cycle. How do you want your cycle to be like? Thanks so much for joining us today. Enjoy this cute video on the cycle of time as well, and see if it relates also to your own life. I'll see you again real soon.
Once upon a time, I, the soul, the being of light, live in my home, the home of all souls. My Father, the highest of all beings, also lives here. In the midst of peace and serenity, at some point a stirring happens within me. This stirring pushes me to come down to a wonderful new world to play my part. The new earth is beautiful and bountiful. I am new, like a fully loaded and supremely charged battery. I am also totally aware of my truth, of my true identity, a being of light energy. Time passes by. Since I am a soul within a physical body, I begin to change. My battery is no longer supremely charged, but I am still fully charged. As a new being on earth, I am still aware of my true form, a being of truth and a powerful soul. My body enjoys the full potential of a self-aware soul. I am full of love, peace, health and happiness. Then a shift begins. I forget myself, my true identity. I create many little false identities, little I's, possessions, talents, wealth, beauty, strength. I begin to identify myself with these eyes, that these are components of my whole being. I become body conscious. The biggest evidence of this shift is I begin to experience sorrow. Comparison and competition became a common phenomenon. From being supremely charged to fully charged, I become a half-charged battery. My little eyes become my complete identity. The world that I once came upon becomes divided. Different languages emerge. The idea of religion, such as Islam, Buddhism, and Christianity, grows and attempts to lessen the feelings of conflict and sadness. Yet sorrow and pain continue in the world. By this time, I totally forget my original identity. From being soul conscious, I am now totally body conscious. I lose my original qualities of peace, purity, power, wisdom, love, joy, and bliss. Instead, I now have lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, carelessness, and laziness. In fact, sorrow and peacelessness seem to increase. My transformation into a physical being is almost complete. My battery is almost completely drained. My true identity is crowded into a little corner by my little eyes. Everything around me becomes corrupt, polluted, and degraded. In the midst of this chaos and immorality, God, our Father, the Supreme Being, comes to us. He reintroduces himself to us and tells us our story. In this way, he ultimately introduces us to ourselves, to our true, original selves. He tells us about the secrets of life, actions, relationships, fortune and misfortune, victory and defeat. He teaches us Raja Yoga. This connects us to him, the Supreme Being, our true power generator. We begin to recognize our true selves, the soul, a being of metaphysical light, very much like our Father, the Supreme Being, divine and complete. I awaken and rekindle my true characteristics, become fully charged once again, and return home. The world that I knew becomes renewed as I rest in the soul world, preparing myself to return to earth, ready to play my part once again.
Meditation, intimate experiences with the divine through contemplative practices. A common sentient series by Sacred Stories Publishing. The quieter you become, the more you're able to hear. Rumi. A time to choose. We find ourselves right now in the age of great transformation, one of the most consequential moments in human history. These are indeed the times that the great prophets and seers throughout the millennia have spoken about. Mankind has experienced and survived many eras of tremendous change, of course, yet with each turn of the spiral, the permutations become more amplified, as if there will be one final revolution of the cycle that turns it all around, so we can start anew once more.